Lynan's about to come on and just blow your mind in terms of filling, marketing, these luxury retreats, high-end experiences. Oh my gosh, she's just awesome. You have to listen to this interview. Before we dive into that, though, I just want to say thanks for being here. I love you. Keep showing up. Keep stepping into your greatest possible self. However I can support you with that, let's explore. If it's being a guest on the marathon, would love to support you and get your message out. If it's launching your own podcast, whatever I can do to support you, let's have fun, okay? Next up is the iTunes review of the week, and this week it's by Jen Hudgens. And Jen Hudgens says, I love this podcast. This podcast is so motivating. I love the caliber of guests and the energy Chris brings to the show each and every time. Thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate you giving us that review. And if you want to give us a review, go to beergps.com/iTunes or search Greatest Possible Self on the podcast, Apple Podcast Store, and give us a review there. You'll get a chance to get shouted out on a future marathon. Definitely subscribe to get all the latest updates, okay? All right, I'm going to introduce Lynan in just a sec. Grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, be ready to take notes. This woman is like in demand. She's on virtual summits and just doing all these kinds of things to get this message out, and she's like so busy doing the thing. And she's taken some time out of her schedule today to really serve us and our audience. So thank you. And we're going to introduce her and then bring her on, okay? Lynan Saperstein is a luxury marketing strategist who guides boutique hotels and resorts to consistently get more bookings and revenue. As a CEO of her digital marketing agency, Experience Experts, Lynan and her team offer a comprehensive full-service approach for all your digital marketing needs, including high-converting websites, driving traffic, social media, big-picture business growth strategies, and sales domination in your marketplace. The end result is your property and brand transformed from being virtually unknown to a highly coveted and booked solid destination. She is living her digital nomad dream by sharing her online marketing wisdom and adventuring around the planet with her tribe while running this location-independent business. Through her marketing passions, she also hosts entrepreneur immersion retreats, and the next Trailblazers retreat, which is trailblazersretreat.com, is in Belize in 2020. And we're blessed to have her here with us today. Lynan, are you ready to rock the house, Superwoman?
Oh my God, yes. And can I pay you to read my bio forever? Because
Yes.
That was the best it's ever been read. You're phenomenal.
I love it. Thank you so much for being here. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to dive right into the theme of today, which is transformational travel. So Lynan, what does that mean to you?
Oh my God, it means everything to me. It's the reason I get up every morning, and it's the reason I breathe. But it's the way that traveling the world is changing and transforming. We're not just going to Cabo to get wasted. We're not going to Hawaii with mom and dad and Aunt Susie, right? We're going to have an experience. We're going to have an unforgettable, life-changing shift where something changes in us. And, a lot of times now we have a lot of solo travelers more than ever before. So people are looking for community. They're looking for like-minded tribes where they can connect, they can make real friendships. Also, I'm seeing in the retreat space, people don't always feel safe being their honest, true, authentic self.
Yep.
They're going to transformational travel experiences to discover who they are inside, to find a safe place to play there, to not be judged, to say whatever's on their mind, to explore mental health challenges, to go through transitions like divorce, death, losing a job, whatever's going on. And it's a safe place for people to grow, a safe people for people to expand, a safe place for so many possibilities to grow and shift this planet. So it's everything to me.
So powerful. I hear like those critical life evolutions, moments, transitions,
Exactly.
To reconnect us with why we're really here and like life, what is life? Why are we here having this human experience? I think travel and transformational travel and these retreats and all these kinds of experiences, like what an access to as close as we can get to the answer to that question.
and people are already spending money, right? People bought bucket lists. They're getting on planes, trains, automobiles. They're going on those road trips. And they want this. They want this so badly. And some of them know, like there's on that buyer awareness scale, some people know they need it, but some people are just starting to get those little tiny sparks of like, maybe there's something else I need when I have those 10 days off work. maybe this is something else my family needs to do when we have this time together, that we can connect deeper and we can build deeper relationships. So everything you guys are going to be doing with these retreats is important.
Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. This is so awesome. So tell our audience, for those who are just getting to know you, a little bit more about what you're up to, what you're creating in the world. I mentioned it in your bio, but in your own words, why don't you share it?
Yeah, so you read it in the bio. So we're the experience experts. We're a marketing and advertising digital agency, and we mostly work with boutique hotels and retreat centers. So that's sort of my sweet spot. I'm working with the destinations that a lot of you guys are going to be booking, and I'm teaching them how to work with you guys. And I'm working with these really powerful, amazing places that are cultivating transformational travel and bringing in wellness and bringing in personal growth and bringing in spirituality into sort of the mainstream, which is so exciting for me. But my heart is retreat hosts and is those retreat attendees. I've been experience creator for 6 years and was supporting experience creators for over a decade. I was in the event space, and now really my passion is taking everything in my brains and giving it to everybody else, because I don't want to see these amazing events, because a lot of you guys are amazing masters, teachers, facilitators, and you're curating these powerful, powerful transformational experiences and travel adventures, but people can't always find you. And that's the problem. And I'm seeing events get canceled. I'm seeing people not fill spots. And these events are remarkable, completely amazing. And so I want to get all of my marketing tools and juju out there so people can really powerfully market, sell, and fill these events, and then have solid retreat businesses, right? So year in, year out, run in 3 events, 6 events, 12 events, because this is how the travel industry is really shifting. So we all need to step into our greatness and do this now.
Dang, I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's go back. You said for like 10 years you've been supporting and helping to put on these epic retreats. Tell us about the beginning and what got you into it.
So the beginning is that I'm a retreat junkie. So like I was 18, 19, getting into personal growth, spirituality, sort of getting woke and figuring out who I was and understanding that I wasn't broken and it didn't need to be fixed, all that stuff. And I started working with these people and seeing how things worked. And I was in the event space. I worked in sort of corporate high-end events. Like I worked for Fashion Week in New York City and things like that. And I sort of saw how it all applied. And one of my coaches gave me the opportunity to help with logistics one year. And it was amazing. It was so fun. And I saw how my skill set came into this, and I was like, I can help you guys. And then, watching my marketing skills, from startup world and the business world kind of translate over to retreats and travel was just this natural evolution, because my second passion behind personal growth is travel. So it flowed really nicely. And my mentors, one workshop said, hey, why aren't you hosting something? And I was like terrified. Ooh. But when I came back to my team and I said, hey guys, like, what if we had a retreat at the end of everybody just was so excited. My tribe was excited. My followers are excited. And we sold out in 2 months. So that was the beginning, and it snowballed and it kept going and going. And so it's just my heart. It's what I love to teach. It's what I love to share. It's the tribe I love to hang out in. All my friends are experienced creators, owners of retreat centers, building communities, building these institutes for the advancement of all of humanity.
Wow. So gold. In the beginning, marketing, what was that like for you, and why did you feel the need to become more effective with it?
So I make jokes, but marketing is my love language. Like it's my pillow talk. Like I love to talk about marketing. But it's your divine duty, right? There are these people who are struggling and got obstacles and challenges, and you have the solution. Like you have the path to get them where they're going. And if you don't step up and pay attention to marketing and get over your shit and move your stuff out of the way, like you can't help these people. You can't get in front of them. And some of them are desperately looking for you. And it's your job to be creating the content, getting the email sequences out there, getting really succinct, clear sales pages out there so people know, yeah, this is for me and I need to say yes to it. So for me, marketing, it just clicked in like, this is it. And I'm an NLP coach, and, having the tools to know people's emotions and to know their struggles and their pain more powerfully than they do, right? If you can put it into words, if you can succinctly tell them, this is where you are and this is where you're going, they'll be like, yes, you're my teacher. Yes, you're my guide. You're my guru. Like, show me the way.
You get me.
And you get me.
Yeah.
And then, and then it's an effortless sales process. Then everybody's pre-qualified. And then you're getting these highly curated audiences that are just so excited to be there, so ready for transformation. And you're building this powerful, like-minded tribe of people that are just going to grow and expand together for years to come. So marketing just ignited me, basically. And I want you guys to get excited about it.
I got that. We got that, Lynan. This is awesome. So marketing. Let's talk about some tactics, basics, strategies. What can we be doing to really fill our retreat?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's knowing your ideal customer, right? So who are they? Get in their shoes, get in their skin, know their life. And one of my good friends, Andy Drish, from the foundation, he often says, like, know their dream day, get into their shoes, live their perfect day. Where do they wake up? Who do they wake up with? What do they eat? What content are they consuming? Where are they hanging out online? Where are they shopping? Go through every aspect of their life. There's another tool online you can Google. It's called the Empath Map. I love that one. Just get in their shoes and feel what they feel.
Yeah.
And then once you know them, you can target them. You can get right in front of them. You can use the exact language that they want to hear, the words that they use. And know your audience, because you're going to know whether Instagram is a good platform to target them, or they're not there and they don't care. Or maybe it would be better for you to be doing in-person, like kind of tour dates, like one-off nights and evenings to connect with people. That's what one of my clients is doing all over Canada right now. And he's selling out events, and he's plugging into like 50 to 100 people. And if 10 or 12 convert, that's perfect. Those are perfect odds. And they're going to fill his events for years to come. So it's finding out who your people are and how you're going to reach them the most effectively. So whether it's which social media platform, or whether how you're going to curate these emails so they get really emotionally activated, and you start to sort of curate them and cultivate them, and they all start to get excited and they start to know, like, and trust you. And when they trust you, they can give you money. Right? When they trust you, they're going to get in their car and drive to your event, or they're going to get on an airplane and fly to another country, or get that visa and show up for a transformational experience that's going to completely revolutionize their life. So knowing them really deeply, and then how to get right in front of them.
Wow. So like really, when you can identify those pain points and those greatest aspirations, that's what they care about, right? Like that's the strongest emotional activation, catalyzation that we can do to get them saying, oh my gosh, I want that. Or, oh my gosh, this sucks, I'm done with that. That's what creates action. That's what creates the willingness to pull out their credit card and say, here's my money, take my money. I want to be there. I have to have this. Like that's what has to happen.
Yeah. And then I would say the next piece is what I call results and benefits. So on retreats, we love a good sales page with like all the features. Oh, we're at this luxury hotel, or we're at this great Airbnb, and this is the food, and these are the facilitators. But those are the features. Those are just the bullet points. And yeah, those are important, but they're not what people are actually buying. What they're actually buying is the transformation, is the A to Z that you're going to take them through. So I often say, for results and benefits, go to the end of the retreat, go to the last day, go to the way they feel in their body, go to maybe when they call their best friend or their mom or their significant other and they're telling them about what happened, or they're on the plane journaling. What are they writing about? What is shifted in their life? So again, results and benefits, like these tangible things that they can aspire to having. And you can say, this is literally how we're curating the event. You will feel this. You will have, better relationships. You will have more money. You will have better sex. Whatever it is you're going to really give them and is going to shift in their life, whether it's immediately or it's going to take a few months after, say it, sell it, and have them attached to that outcome. And then they're going to listen and pay attention to content on the experience around that. So results and benefits, and the deeper and the more like really focused and dialed in you can get, the better. And if you've hosted events or you've done coaching or consulting before, talking to your past clients and seeing what kind of results and benefits they've gotten, that's what you want to translate into the live experience.
Wow. Have you ever seen anyone or come across the experience of like overpromising? Like, because I know in marketing it could be about hype and building that up. Like, how do people make sure they don't cross into that kind of territory?
Well, I mean, with retreats, nothing is guaranteed, right? Right? Like I often say to my retreat attendees, the hardest part is showing up. So you did the hardest part if you showed up. And it's like anything, like they have to show up, they have to do the work, they have to commit, they have to come to the workshops, they have to participate in the experience. And some people are going to have blockages, some people are going to slow themselves down or create some resistance if things are getting too intense or it's getting too good or whatever's going on. And again, that's part of the sales conversation for me. I have an application for all my events. I recommend this for all of my clients, and curating every attendee. So making sure they're ready for the experience. Like, are they ready to do the work? Are they ready to show up? Are they freaking excited to just jump into everything you're going to throw at them? And sometimes you can feel into it, right? So sometimes you're like, I don't think they're ready, or maybe this is not for them, right? So then you're never over promising, right? Because a lot of this stuff is their own, it's driven by them. It's driven by their own intention. It's driven by their own goals and dreams and aspirations. And so I even listen to my attendees. I go, what do you guys want? And I curate the speakers. I curate what I'm going to talk about. On the first day of Trailblazers retreat, we spend a good hour talking about what is a trailblazer to you guys. And it's different every time I do that, but it helps me set context of the experience. So I'm constantly kind of feeling the temperature of the room, and that's part of being a good facilitator. And I want my speakers to be adaptable too. My teachers, my yoga teachers, like one retreat, I decided to pull sugar out of the whole thing because I was just like, I feel like we all need a detox. Wow. And that wasn't promised, and nobody really noticed. Actually, it was really funny until the last day. They were like, we never had dessert, we never. And I'm like, yeah, because I pulled sugar out of your diets because that was what I felt like was needed. Wow. So part of it is you being a really good facilitator. The other thing is, really catering and curating the experience to your people, and then you're not over promising, and also putting some of the responsibility in their court, right? Part of personal growth, part of this journey is you got to show up for yourself. You got to show up and keep doing it for you. I can't drag you into your transformation. I can't drag you into your results. You got to want it. You got to want it. You got to have that passion inside of you. So I wouldn't worry about overpromising if you're doing all this stuff.
Boom. And it's like I love that. I love really communicating, hey, it's your responsibility how you show up. These are the intentions. These are ideal outcomes. And like, it's up to you. It's up to you what you bring to the table, the level of effort that you give. That's what's going to determine it. And I'm sure like working with you, Lynan, like everyone around you is so fired up. They're just like, I can do anything. This energy, this woman just like makes me feel unstoppable, right? And so to have people in our tribe who get us and resonate with us, that's like the most important thing. Like to not worry about like over promising. It's like you show up, you be the authentic version of you, and then also attract those people who are in alignment with you, because when that happens, like everything works out.
And you just kind of sold one of the other big pieces of retreats that people forget about, but it's access, right? Like most people have access to you, Chris, just virtually, right? You've got these amazing live streams, you've got all this online content, but getting the opportunity to be in your presence, quite literally the magic of two human beings being in the same space, which so rarely happens these days. But that's what people pay for a lot of my retreats, is just to get to hang out with me for a week and get to be in my positivity, to be in the inspiration, to be in that fire up mode. And whatever it is that you is your energy, whatever it is that your vibe is and your tribe loves, they get to not just go to one of your yoga classes for an hour, right? They get to spend 3 days, 5 days, 7 days with you. They don't get to just come to one of your workshops or be in one of your coaching programs where they talk to you for an hour. They're getting to spend this concentrated, just accelerated time with you where anything is possible.
Yeah,
anything.
It's like Abraham Hicks talks about like 68 seconds when you focus on something for that long, like just creates some massive freaking momentum, right? And it's like being in a space away from the day to day, like giving someone the opportunity to do that for 3, 4, 5, 7 days, however long it is. Like that is where the transformation occurs. That's where people get to see, like, hey, what is going on in my life that I have not been conscious of. They really get to see, and then from that point they're also responsible, which we've been empowering them with from the very beginning. You are responsible to make the choice of how do I respond and how do I bring this wisdom and this knowingness and the different things that I can do back into my life.
Exactly. And then it starts to get easier, right? Because every day they're getting a little more practice, they're getting more practice. And this is where you have the opportunity to upsell. We didn't talk about talking about this, but it's a great opportunity to make money afterward. People are gonna want some sort of maintenance program afterward. It's a great opportunity for you to make more money. But because they want that accountability, they want that continuity of the transformation. So they make sure it keeps going and going and going. And that they actually take this and it becomes a lifestyle change. Different aspects that they've learned about themselves because everything got quiet, because they got off their devices. Maybe they stopped drinking, smoking, whatever your experience is curating. They have the opportunity now to make a new choice, to literally change their entire life shifting, business shifting, relationship shifting, all the shifting.
Wow. So juicy, like the destiny, right? Someone's destiny, like really saying, I'm going to be the most powerful mirror that you've ever had, ever, and show you what is going on in your life. And then it's up to you how you want to respond to that and how you can move forward. And I love how you said the upsell of like some kind of accountability, some kind of, way to sustain the new way of being, the new consciousness, the new awareness. And I think a lot of people probably fall short on doing that from, live events and especially retreats. Exactly. Is that what you found?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's hard because I call a lot of these online programs, even though you and I both sell them, shelf help. They sit there and people don't do anything with them, or they engage and then they fall off. Yeah. And something about a retreat is you have to be engaged. You have to participate. And so kind of one of my best friends came to my very first retreat, and she's in our sales video, but she goes, now I'm going to do the shit that I said I was going to do. Yep. Like she just really transformed and got full integrity with her word. But then the other thing is, you said, we're the powerful mirrors as the hosts, but also all of the attendees become their mirrors. They become their accountability buddies. They heard what they said and they said, okay, well, you gotta do what you said you were going to do. Yep. You said you're gonna go to the gym every day. Are you gonna go to the gym every day? I mean, I've had 2 people come to my retreats and lose over 80 pounds, and not because it was a fitness retreat. I don't facilitate fitness retreats, but because they started to see themselves and see what else was possible for their lives. And so that tribe, any kind of systems you have to keep it up, maybe bringing your speakers back, or kind of like doing an echo, or like how is that still sitting with you, or what do you need a refresher on? What are you forgetting? What is slipping in your life? And you kind of get them back to center and back to that anchored feeling that they started to feel at the retreat.
I love it. Let's talk about retreat experiences and how do we make it an epic retreat experience? What have you seen as far as like making it unforgettable, making it life transforming, destiny altering?
So there's a ton of things you can do, but one of the things I tell my retreat hosts is, what transformed your life? Because you're your first client. So what were those exercises, or when you went to that workshop or that conference, what exercise did you do that just like blew your mind? What was that book? What was that, whoever it was? And even in my retreats now, if just whoever the epic esoteric teachers are that are in my life, I kind of pull them in. I go, hey, will you come do breath work for my people? Yes. And so pay attention to who's exciting you too. Or like, say you're getting really into human design, go do a human design training and then bring that to your retreat. So really pay attention to what's alive for you, what's alive for your audience. I like to go deep fast. I always say we don't have time to waste. This is not about like a slow buildup and somehow we have a breakthrough in the last day. I'm looking for a breakthrough in the first 24 to 48 hours.
That's right. That's right.
That's how it works. So we go deep, we go fast. I'm trained in authentic relating. There's a fantastic Authentic World handbook for some authentic relating as kind of icebreaker games. I like people to go deep, fast, talking about their heart, talking about their pain, their frustrations, being real, being honest with strangers, because we want those strangers to be best friends really quickly. We want that to just collapse that timeline as fast as possible. So how can you go as deep as possible, as quickly as possible? Whatever is in your comfort zone. I highly recommend Authentic World Handbook, checking that out, checking out any authentic relating events. And then secondarily is like, what kind of bonding activities can you facilitate? Whether it's an actual excursion, an adventure, like we've done like sea kayaking, we've done cave climbing, whatever kind of cool stuff is your tribe's into, ATVing, all that kind of stuff. Or maybe it's really deep and intimate. Maybe it's a women's circle. Maybe it's a ceremony where I love fire. So it's like writing down everything that you want to release, everything that you want to let go of, and then writing down everything you want to ignite. and sort of letting things be ceremonial and ritualistic and playing with that space. I know a lot of people are working with shaman and things like this. So what can we learn from indigenous people? What can we learn from these practices and bring that into retreat? And that's truly where we become the most powerful, where we kind of return to our roots and traditions. And so I've done research on we did Native American art and in the dirt, and we were just using plants and we were making like mandalas, just like what kind of rituals and practices can you bring in that are super fun and even push your edges. This is my favorite quotable, but I often say with live events and retreats, the biggest transformation is going to happen with you first. So get ready, hold on tight, because that shit's going to get real. Because you're the first person who's going through the deep dark side, tunnel. And then when you come out you can facilitate more deeply, more powerfully for your tribe. Maybe they're going to go as deep as you, maybe they won't, but you are the one who's got to go through it first. And so I see this with leaders all the time. All the shit in their life just comes to the surface and they're like, I want to cancel. And it's like, got to push through. You got to remember your why are you doing this? You got to keep going. But I'm totally off topic, but yes, that's I could talk about this all day. You know me.
Well, off topic is great because we have Janet out there who says, "Oh my God, taking so many notes." It's so perfect. This is great, and I love how you have these ceremonies, fire burning away the stuff, authentic connecting. Like, wow, what a powerful priority at retreats, at experiences, to say, how do I break down the walls between these human beings, so to speak, so that they can just surrender, they can let go, they can trust, they can just be themselves? Like, what does it take? What do we need to cultivate in this container? That's another word that a lot of people use. Is like, how do I set up such a powerful container where people just like let it all out so that they can access that power, that greatness that's been, kind of repressed within them because they got a bunch of other stuff that they've been dealing with and managing.
And I love a good opening ceremony and good closing ceremony. So you kind of bookend the event, and even an open ceremony that makes people feel safe, what you were just talking about. So they can go deep, they can share authentically, so their true self can come out, and so they can even maybe explore their true self if they're not so familiar with that space and it's something that they avoid or they try and escape from because it's terrifying to them. So playing with those type of activities. And then the other activity I like to do with my people when we're doing curation is actually I like to lay out pieces of paper for how many days of the experience. And again, start at the end. Start at the results and benefits. Start at where you want them to be at the end of the experience and work your way backwards. So to get there, what do we need to do? To get there, what do we need to do? What do we need to do before? And let it really build. And that's one thing I think I have a testimonial of that. It's just somebody says, Lynan really just curates the highs and the lows. And a few of my good friends, I've seen them do it. They just really listen to what's going on. They pay attention. So if they have to change at this, the drop of a hat because of what's going on, like maybe a lot of emotions are coming up. Okay, so let's do an emotional release here, right? This is my practice. Or say a lot of people are like talking about relationship. Okay, like how can we pull in a relationship building, one of our speakers, or how can I bring in a panel quick and put something together and be on the fly, be flexible, be adaptable, be like the willow, and bend and follow the flow, follow what your people need and let yourself be the channel for that. For sure.
I love that because it's like have the clear outcome, right? Know what you want out of it and be willing to let go of what you thought you knew, right? Going back to you as the facilitator, you're going to transform through this, right? Like I'm going to transform through this, and simply being willing to do that and say, as I transform, how do I respond? Do I try to fight what the natural flow is, or do I go with it and say, hey, I had this plan, but hey, ego, you get to sit on the side. I love you. And like we're gonna tap into something a little bit bigger than us here.
and you're there for the highest good, right? You're not there for your ego. You will become more of an expert in your field. You will look like an authority, but you're there at service. You're there to hold the container for people's transformation, and that's a great honor and a privilege. And with great responsibility, you got to pay attention. You got to do what you got to do, and push ego aside. Yep. And do what needs to be done for their highest and not just your highest.
Boom. Boom. I love it. So I want to talk about these boutique hotels and like what you're doing with them, because it's freaking awesome what you're doing, what you've created, this life that you've created for yourself. Tell us a little bit more about that, and like what gets you up and excited to, arrange these resorts and destinations so that people can go host retreats at these places.
I mean, I have the privilege now because I created a business around a lifestyle, and digital nomad got hot, and we all went and tried it, and it works. And we've got
It works.
phones and internet, and I mean, I'm in this cafe right now, and I'm doing this amazing call in Colorado.
It's amazing.
But you can do it from anywhere. But I just started to go to these remarkable places, these special places. I say them, they're like hidden gems. And I couldn't believe people didn't know about them.
Wow.
And they had shitty websites. They just had terrible websites, and if they're doing social, they don't know what they're doing, and they don't have a photographer or whatever, or they're hiring the local and who needs the training, who wants to know, but doesn't have access. And so, along the way, I was like, hey, how can I help? Can I, and it just built on itself. And, I'm just, again, it's opportunity and destiny where they meet, and they sort of interacted, and had a really unique opportunity to work with a retreat center in Costa Rica called Blue Osa that I love, and everyone should check out, even though they're sold out now, like all the time. Wow. So I don't even know if you can book there anymore. But it was just like, they're not even in a town. It's called Playa Tamales. And they said, will you come down and help us? And I said, sure. So, they flew me down, they paid my minimum retainer, and we just went to work, and we rebuilt their website. We rebuilt their yoga teacher training program. We started an outreach. A lot of these hotels don't know how to work in outreach and actually build relationships and networks that they can sell to. And so for me, it's taking all the juicy stuff that I've learned in marketing and in digital marketing, online marketing, and bringing it to the hospitality world and bringing it to travel has been such a joy. And I work with amazing people who've got big hearts and so much passion. And yeah, I get to help them be accessible to people like you guys for anything you're creating with transformational travel, but really universally. And a lot of them want to know about wellness and how do we market wellness? How do we put together a wellness package? And I get to connect them with amazing yoga teachers and detox specialists and things like that all over the world. And I get to host events there, and I get to showcase them and make great introductions. I made a phenomenal introduction yesterday to a great retreat center and the perfect teacher. And for me, that's exciting. I love being a super connector. I love connecting the pieces. And so for me, it's just getting to bring my wisdom, my joy to the world, and then getting back in return all of these amazing adventures and memories and amazing connections with these beautiful people. I have friends around the world. I literally can go to any country, any city, and have a place to sleep and have just a family that embraces me.
So amazing.
I
hear like life by design, doing what you love. I'm curious, like when this continues and serving these hotels and helping people put on retreats, market retreats, like where do you see your brand and your life evolving in the next couple of years? Like what are you most excited about?
Owning my own properties.
Yes.
Curating my own spaces. Slowing down a little bit and traveling as much, having a place where I can receive my tribe more consistently, and having some people come to me instead of me getting to go to all of them, but still keeping the adventure going. But I think for now, like I'm really getting partnered with and aligned with some amazing concepts that are getting built, and being able to share my wisdom and be a part of it, both financially, energetically, and consulting wise. So yeah, I'm always looking for people who are trying to do innovative, cool stuff with boutique hotels, even corporate who's trying to be more boutique and get into the wellness sector, educating hotels about retreats and group bookings and how they can really leverage large groups in conferences and meetings and seminars. So that stuff just excites me so much. But yeah, the goal, I think we said we wanted to reach 250 hotels and retreat centers, and then own or co-own or be equity partners in 3 to 5 properties in the next 10 years. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to go back 10 years ago when you were first starting out, and just hear what would be the wisdom or guidance that you would give yourself at that point in your life?
To not get too attached to outcomes, to release expectations, to realize that every hurdle, every challenge is perfectly there for you to learn from. I think, surrendering as much as possible to what's unfolding and keep showing up for it, and don't give up. Keep going, even when it sucks. Keep going because, the breakdown, right after the breakdown is the breakthrough. So you just have to keep pushing through. And when you hit those points where things suck and you're in tears and you're frustrated and all of that, it's coming up because there's something there that needs to change, something there that wants to grow. And so just lean into it, jump into it, dive into it, get dirty, and let it transform you, let it transform your life, and take every little nugget and build that life of your dreams. Because it's one of those Pinterest quotes, but it's like, if your dream job doesn't exist, create it. And that's what I did. My dream job didn't exist. I tried to find it in the corporate world. I had some dream jobs and then was like, this is not it. And then went out and really passionately and with hunger and fervor and even with tons of failure, because I kept putting myself out there. I found it, I built it, I carved it from marble stone just for me.
Damn, that's so epic. And I love that there's like the fire, right? The fire of drive, of get out there, do the dang thing, confront the uncomfortable, like get through it, right? Heal whatever needs to be healed, but also be willing to like flow, be willing to be unattached, be willing to say, hey, whatever life has for me in store next, like I know that there's bigger things that are meant for me. So I'm just going to show up and do my best every day. I'm going to create clarity around my long-term visions and, do my best. And don't be too attached, because I think that goes back to the ego of saying, like, this is how it's supposed to be. I'm right. And whenever we get into that position, usually life's like, stop trying to be in control of everything. You're not in control of everything.
I'll give you a swift kick in the butt after that. Yeah. Amazing.
It's so powerful. So I want to talk about, retreats. Is there anything else that you think it really takes to put on a successful retreat that we didn't cover yet? Filling retreats, marketing, anything else that our audience needs to hear?
So I teach something called DIRT. It's the DIRT method, and it's DIRT. So decide, ideas, research, and test and track. And D is the key one. We haven't really talked about it, but that decision, like putting your stake in the ground and saying, I'm gonna make this retreat happen, whatever it takes. And that commitment, and knowing your why are you doing this? Who are you trying to reach? What kind of transformation you're trying to bring to the world? And knowing that, writing it down and going back to it. And this is when I talk about the energetics of retreats. Like, I love talking about the marketing, I love going into logistics, I love numbers and metrics, but there's some visualization that's involved. I even said this to one of my clients yesterday. I said, when was the last time you sat and you saw the retreat? You saw the attendees, you saw them showing up, you saw how many people were there. And when I visualize it, I see faces pop up. I know who I got to reach out to. I see strategic partners. I see who the speakers are. I really feel into what it is. And I almost, because the mind's eye, right, our visualization center of our brain doesn't know the difference between reality and a vision, right? So if we keep visualizing, it will come to reality. It becomes the actual experience. And so seeing it in your mind's eye, deciding no matter what, and people have said this to me about my retreats, like, I will fight tooth and nail to make them successful. I'm like, how passionately do you want this to happen? And if you're just in it, like, okay, I'm not sure. Maybe this isn't the event you're meant to be doing. Maybe you need to dial it in. Maybe it's the wrong destination. Maybe it's the wrong people. Maybe it's the wrong time. And be okay with, it's not now, it's later. Because if you can't fully decide and say, hell yes, like, I'm a hell yes to this, then it's not time. But if you're a hell yes, fucking jump into the deep end and get dirty. Get so dirty and get everything done and sell the shit out of it.
Yes. I love it. So that decision, do you think that a lot of people, coaches, people who are putting on retreats, they haven't really made that decision of doing whatever it takes to make it a reality? Do they get kind of like halfway in between, like, I want to do it, but I have some doubts, so they kind of get stuck in the middle?
Again, fear, uncertainty. How am I going to do it? How am I going to feel? Like, all of those questions, that monkey mind that starts playing. You got to quiet that. You got to quiet it. And that's what the decide does. It quiets the whispers in your mind. And the other thing is, get yourself educated. Like, get everything you need so you're supported and you're going to kill it. I think some people have like that 1 foot in, 1 foot out, like, oh, if it sells and maybe we'll cancel, and is the deposit refundable? And I mean, I even hear it with our retreat centers. We have hosts all the time say, well, what if I don't fill it? Well, that's not our responsibility. We're a retreat center. That's your job. That's the truth.
Yes.
So like, are you willing to do whatever it takes to make this happen? Because retreats are not cheap. Most of the deposits are going to put you close to 10K, especially for multi-day. And depending on, with food and if you're including other things, but the possibility to make much more of that is possible. So it's like, are you willing to take your business, your brand to the next level by stepping into this greatness? Are you ready to hold the container for 5, 10, 20, 50? I mean, I have friends hosting 100, 150 people events now.
Damn.
We did 1,000-person travel con last year. So it's how big are the events you're going to want to be doing? And how big can you be? How big can you be? And if you're ready to be big and play big, like, step in the ring. Come play with us.
Dang, I love it. What team members, what resources does someone really need to like actually facilitate a successful retreat?
I mean, you can do it yourself. I've done it myself. You got to build the sales page. Some of our retreat centers, will host a sales page for you, which is a great perk if you can get it. Okay. I've seen retreats sell just by one Facebook post if you've got that many followers or a good email, or good few emails. So you may not even need a sales page. You just have an application. You get them on the call. They pay the credit card. They pay the deposit. Make sure you have a good agreement that they sign. So they're committing to this, like, just like you decided, they got to decide. Yep. I have a virtual assistant. She's a godsend. She's the background in events. She's helpful. I've brought on guest speakers, guest yoga teachers, guest meditation teachers. I've worked with the retreat centers and the hotels that I've booked at, let them, support me. Some of them will post you on their website. Some of them will do you in focusing you on social. Maybe they'll let you write a blog post. Some of them have podcasts. Think about ways that you can market and utilize what you've already got there. So your venue, your team you may already have for your business. I don't think you need to get extra people, but sometimes you need a mentor. Sometimes you need a guide. You need that accountability. So there's a ton of programs out there. I've got one called Retreat X. We've got a boot camp. We'll have a program coming out in 2020. We do some done for you retreat marketing stuff for higher end retreats, ones that are happening like 5-6 times a year. But paying attention to where your weakness is or where you don't light up and you don't love it, and see where you can find someone who does light up and kills it and just comes in and fills the void and just inspires you to create more and build more and can kind of take things off your plate so you can focus on what you're the best at, which for a lot of us is sales. A lot of us is curating the event. And some of us, it's not sales, right? So maybe you need to bring on a salesperson. I see a lot of retreats now bringing on commission-based salespeople. So it just depends on where you're at in the journey, and what doesn't light you up and what doesn't excite you in the whole entire process.
Yeah. And that's self-awareness, like really being aware of, like, don't force yourself to do something that you can have someone else do who they love to do it. If that's not what you love to do, like, stay in your genius zone, right? That's one aspect. And also, like, if you're at the point where you have to do it, then freaking do it, get it done. Right?
Exactly.
So I love this. I want to talk about who's the perfect type of person who would work with you, Lynan, because you have a couple different things that you got going on. Who should say, hey, I want to check out more of Lynan's stuff because I feel like we have a resonation. What do they do?
Well, I always say, if you resonate with me, find me on LinkedIn, find me on social, just connect, say hey. I have I don't have a lot of Facebook friends, spots left, but you could connect me with everywhere else. But I think the big thing for working with me is the hotels, the boutique hotels and retreat centers. So if you're starting one, you've already got one, you're struggling, trying to break into the retreat market. If you guys have any connections who people own properties and they need help, just make an introduction. I usually can revolutionize a business in 6 to 12 months. Some of our clients stick around for years because they just love us so much and we love them. So I really love the venues. They're my heart. They're my soul. That's where I really work. And I'm working for you guys so they understand what's going on, so they're prepared for you. But second is retreat hosts. So we have a ton of free resources. I think I'm going to share a link with you guys for our retreat marketing roadmap, which is a really powerful, just free guide. We're going to be doing live workshops of Retreat X all over the US. We also do a ton in Costa Rica. So if anyone's down in Costa Rica, holler at us. Yeah. And, I think the other piece is, we have community. You have support. I've got a Facebook group. There's a ton of podcasts out there. I've been featured on most of them. There's a ton of videos I do with rockyouryogaretreat.com, which is one of my business partners, Paloma. There's resources out there. So plug in, Google my name, find them. We're in our bootcamp beta right now. So next year we're going to have the bootcamp open to the public. But if you need like a month and a half to just like figure out your retreat, figure out your marketing plan, we've got it. We got you covered real quick. And then if you really want to deep dive into like a three-month program, we'll have the program launching next year. So we have the wait list ready to go. But ultimately I'm here to support retreats. And so if you've got a concept and you're stuck, send me a message. We'll answer it on the blog. We'll answer it in a video. We're constantly creating content. I'm trying to make videos all the time, and my blog is bigger than it's ever been. So just creating more and more content for you guys to just consume. So
that's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah. What would you say is the way that you build your tribe? Like what's really working for you to build, especially like online community, obviously retreats, getting there. What else online is building your tribe with you?
I'm a super connector. So I'm constantly connecting people. Like that's my passion, is like, oh, you need to meet this person. You need to meet this person, and sort of training my friends, my tribe, and how to be super connectors too. And so, Facebook groups, you can get kind of drowned out, but there are a few that I'm really active in, and I regularly connect with people. But I think it's really, training your friends to be your unpaid sales force, to be constantly looking for the connections and the networking opportunities. And I'm always looking for, speaking gigs, and I'm really, really discerning about where I end up. But the right opportunities always come to me because my people know me. And I think that's it. Do your people know you? Do your people know exactly what you do? Could everybody in your immediate friend circle and the next friend circle, basically talk about your retreat, talk about who you are and what you're up to? And the thing is, people talk about me in Facebook groups that I'm not in. People send me screenshots. Is you, right? Yeah, that's me. But because someone else did it, even how you and I met, right? Yep. My buddy Ian was like, yeah, you got to talk to Lynan. So that you're really investing time in your inner circle and knowing them and keeping up with them. I think that's the key piece. A lot of people I want numbers. Well, actually, why don't you just focus on the people who are right in front of you and take really good care of them, and then let their natural, organic spreading of the word spread your word.
What I hear is be quality over quantity, right? It's like even though you have a grip of people in your network and your contacts list, like it started with you saying, how do I really build like authentic, going back to that like authentic book that you're talking about, connecting, like really build authentic connections and relationships, because that's what's going to move the mountains. That's what's going to get, butts and seats at retreats, so to speak, and have the attendees raise their hand and say, hey, like you've treated me so well. We've built such a great relationship. We've had so many great conversations, or I've learned so much through your content that I trust you to be able to, invest thousands of whatever dollars to get to this retreat. So I think it's super powerful.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is gold. Okay, so let's wrap it up and tell people with the the websites that they can go to. It's theexperienceexperts.com.
You can go to experienceexperts.com. I own that one too, but
I love it. So experienceexperts.com and theretreatx.com as well, right?
Yeah. And then Trailblazers Retreat, if you're interested in coming to something I'm creating next year. Yeah.
That's so awesome. So tell us a little bit more about the Trailblazers Retreat as well.
So it's an entrepreneur immersion experience. There's a ton of like accelerators and all this stuff out there. And instead I like to talk less about business and talk more about you. And I always say you got to get away so you can go within. And it's just a place where we get to play with the esoteric, the spiritual, the personal growth pieces, like what can we strip away that's excess? So we're down to our purest form. And then the last few days, we really dive really, really deep into business and your next steps and just having a massive impact, building massive communities, and and living that full life of your dreams and making sure your business and everything is aligned and that your lifestyle is the heartbeat and the business is around it instead of the other way around.
What is a trailblazer to you, Lynan?
It's that definition has transformed over the years. But it's someone who isn't the status quo, doesn't look to other people and really like, it's like the jungles of Costa Rica. It's like got the machete and is just paving the way for the people who are coming behind them. You know, they're brave, they're courageous. Sometimes they have fear, but they are really living in that fearless space of creativity, of being creators, and so passionate. And they're a rare breed. They're a rare breed, and it can be lonely and it can be isolating to be out there on the front foot, doing what no one else is doing, or trying to create something that doesn't exist yet. And so Trailblazers Retreat is a place where all those people can come together and brainstorm and visionary and take care of each other and recharge and rejuvenate. And I love it. I love it so much.
Man, so awesome. So it's for the person who's like really ready to dive into their soul, you know? And yes, business will be covered. We'll talk about that. And it's like getting reconnected back to who you are, the visionary, the trailblazer, the person, pioneer, the person who might even feel like kind of alone on the journey, like wanting that connection and being around like-minded people who are like, how do I freaking change the world? Like who do I get to become? You know, what am I missing? What piece of the puzzle do I get to put in place so that I can truly fulfill on that greatest possible self?
Yeah, you write my copy for me. That sounds great.
I read your intros. I write your copy. Come on, like I'm just what? I just move in, Lynan. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. So great. You're a blast. And anyone who's tuning in right now, connect with Lynan. Send her a message if you want. Questions answered. She's gonna answer them. Put them up on the blog or direct you to resources that she already has. And my gosh, you're just an epic human being. And thank you for shining your light with us, with our audience, Lynan. You rock.
Thank you so much for having me. You're amazing. So glad to meet you, Chris. You're a sweetheart. I love it. I love it.
We'll see you soon, okay?
All right.
Take care.